This is Joe's Corner 76. I will be commenting on issues that affect the human condition. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Joe's Corner 76. You can hear me on Breaker, Spotify, Google Podcast, Anchor FM, and Radio Public, and YouTube at Joe's Corner 76. I would love to hear from you. To change the human condition, we need to be engaged. Are you lonely tonight? Is it even possible in this world that is so wired that we all are all recorded somewhere every day? You would think everyone is up to date with everything and everyone. Are they really? Do you think loneliness is a problem in the wired world, where everyone knows what's happening? Let's see what loneliness is. Does it exist, and what effects does it have on us? We think of loneliness as being just older people, but that's not really the case. Some surveys show that 30% of those aged 25 to 34 were lonely. 19% of young adults were the second most lonely group. These are a generation that are connected to social media, and they use it in every aspect of their lives. It's apparent that just because you have lots of friends on social media does not mean you have many relationships with real people. Social media has reduced the social interaction you have with people face to face. We can see that people tend to narrow their focus and don't interact with the real world as opposed to the wired world. 28.2% of households in Canada were single-person households. This is more than any other combination of households. Living on a single basis does not have to make you unhappy and alone if it's choice. If not, you feel alone. People are living longer, and as time goes on, they can lose touch with family or friends due to distance, death, and simple neglect. Exploring what loneliness is and how it affects people gives us some insight into what it does. What is loneliness? Loneliness typically includes anxious feelings about a lack of connection or communication with other beings, both in the present and extending into the future. As such, loneliness can even be felt when surrounded by other people. One who feels lonely is lonely. The causes of loneliness are varied and include social, mental, emotional, and physical factors. Research has shown that loneliness is prevalent throughout society, including people in marriages, relationships, families, veterans, and those with successful careers. Many people experience loneliness as infants when they are left alone. This is usually temporary. Loneliness can occur because of a breakup or divorce, or the loss of a close personal relationship due to death. Moving to a new town can cause loneliness due to homesickness. Loneliness can occur in unstable marriages or other close relationships, where feelings of anger or resentment may exist and love can't be given or received. Is there a difference between being lonely and socially isolated? Solitude is simply a lack of contact with people, but it doesn't mean you're lonely. You simply may not want social interaction. If a person thinks they are lonely, then they are. People can feel lonely in solitude or in the middle of a crowd. What makes a person lonely is the fact that they need more social interaction. Are there different types of loneliness? And can they be measured? We have types of loneliness. Transient loneliness, which can be caused by something that just happened, is easily relieved. Chronic loneliness is more permanent and is not easily relieved. Chronic loneliness is more permanent, caused by the person, and is not easily relieved. For example, when a person is sick and cannot socialize with friends, that would be a case of transient loneliness. Once the person got better, it would be easy for them to alleviate their loneliness. A person who feels lonely, regardless of if they are at a family gathering with friends or alone, is experiencing chronic loneliness. It does not matter what goes on in the surrounding environment. The experience of loneliness is always there. It's estimated that approximately 60 million people in the US, or 20% of the population, feel lonely. Another study found that 12% of Americans had no one to discuss important issues or to spend free time with them. In the UK, about 500,000 people over 60 spend each day with no social interaction. Research shows people 16 to 24 years old feel lonelier than any other age group. What problems can loneliness cause? Living alone increases the risk of suicide for young and old alike. Lonely people report higher levels of stress when exposed to the same levels of stress as non-lonely people. Social interactions, if lonely people do have them, are not as positive as other people's. The relationships they have do not buffer them from the stress as normal relationships do. Loneliness raises levels of circulating hormones and blood pressure. Loneliness undermines the circulatory system, so the heart works harder and blood vessels can be damaged. Loneliness affects the quality of sleep, and it can cause mental and psychological damage. We're built for social contact. There are life-threatening consequences if we don't get enough. We don't stay on track mentally, and we are compromised physically. Social skills are crucial to our health. How can we fight loneliness? Avoid feeling sorry for yourself. Everyone is lonely once in a while, but don't fall into the self-pity trap. Once you become aware of it, you can stop it. Instead of feeling sorry for yourself, be proactive. Do something positive. Reach out to someone and start a conversation. Be a friend to yourself. If you have no one to come to your rescue, be a friend to yourself. You can help yourself. Enjoy nature and its beauty. You'll feel better. Smile at a stranger. Visit an old friend in the park. Recruit music into your life to combat loneliness. Listen to some uplifting music with headphones so you can hear all the refrains. It will uplift you. Read a hilarious book. It can be a good friend and touch your soul. Listen to the Comedy Channel or see some crazy comedians. Make contact with another person or touch someone's life. Cure loneliness by calling someone from the past. Perhaps a good friend from high school who you may have forgotten. A great conversation could happen. Help at a local senior center. Cook a meal with someone who wants to be in the kitchen with you. If you have a relationship problem you want help with, check out the most popular ebook, Relationship Gold, to fix your relationship. Think positive and use positive self-talk. If you think this is going to be a gloomy day, it will be. Stop this sad self-pity. Turn it around and think this is going to be a great day. Count your blessings. Changing depressing thought patterns will help you overcome loneliness like nothing else can. Spend time in meditation, deep reflection, and self-prayer. Find a quiet place and just sit in silence and listen to the music that flows within you. Get in touch with the universe. Get in touch with a higher power. These things will make you feel better and improve your relationships. Whatever you do, don't give into lonely feelings and self-defeating patterns of self-pity. You can fight loneliness by doing something you love. Take positive actions and think encouraging thoughts. Try something new or do something nice for someone, and you'll be feeling like $1,000,000 in no time. None of the suggestions and thoughts here represent professional behavioral advice. If you feel sadness and a significant loss of interest in your normal activities for more than 2 weeks, you should seek the advice of a behavioral or a cognitive therapist, or talk to your doctor. Loneliness is such a problem that governments are considering setting up loneliness ministries. Each of us can do something about loneliness now. Join me and reach out to someone you know is lonely. You could save a life.